You're looking at HBAR at $0.148, XRP holding strong at $2.17. And if you think that's the whole story, think again. Because these prices are just the surface. The real action, it's happening underneath, inside regulatory frameworks, government partnerships, and enterprise deployments. And if you hold either HBAR or XRP or both, then this isn't just a suggestion. It's a warning. You need to pay attention. This isn't about what could happen in 5 years. It's about what's being wired in right now. XRP's legal clarity wasn't the end. When Ripple secured its landmark legal clarity against the SEC, the market breathed a collective sigh of relief. Most thought the war was over. They were wrong. That wasn't the finish line. It was the firing pistol. That single moment of legal precedent didn't just end the uncertainty that plagued XRP for years. Transformed it. The question mark that hung over its regulatory status was straightened into an exclamation point. Suddenly, XRP wasn't just a digital asset. It was a compliance-first, enterprise-grade liquidity solution with a legal moat a mile wide. Since that verdict, the real work has gone underground, and the dominoes have begun to fall, not with a crash, but with the quiet, deliberate click of a well-laid plan. While the crypto world chased meme coins and fleeting narratives, Ripple was laying the global financial plumbing for the next century. The expansion has been relentless and strategic. Ripple has methodically activated payment corridors in over 70 countries, not as a press release blitz, but as a quiet annexation of the world's remittance and settlement markets. In Japan, financial giant SBI Holdings didn't just continue its partnership, it doubled down, making XRP the backbone of its international settlement strategy, a move that speaks volumes in a culture of quiet conviction. Meanwhile, Ripple's launch of a stablecoin wasn't a pivot. It was a masterstroke of strategy. It wasn't built to compete with XRP, but to complement it, to act as a stable, predictable entry and exit point, while XRP handles the heavy lifting of instantaneous cross-border liquidity. Think of it as the on-ramp to the financial superhighway that XRP paves. The institutional buy-in is no longer theoretical. Banks across the United Arab Emirates, Brazil, and the burgeoning economies of Southeast Asia haven't just been testing RippleNet. They've been quietly onboarding. They are moving beyond pilot programs to live, commercial applications because, in a world of volatile forex markets and T+2 settlement delays, instant liquidity isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. But the elephant in the room, the one the mainstream press is terrified to touch, is the inevitable convergence with the legacy system. The whispers of a FedNow RippleNet bridge are growing louder. The documents are no longer whispers. They are surfacing in regulatory filings and technical forums. Ripple executives are being seen in the same rooms as central bankers and federal regulators, rooms most crypto founders don't even know exist. This isn't speculation. It's a trail of breadcrumbs leading to an unavoidable conclusion. And then there is the master key, ISO 20022. While other projects scramble to become compliant, XRP was built for it. It speaks the language of global finance natively. This means that the very institutions that form the bedrock of the financial world central banks, SWIFT and the DTCC, can integrate with the XRP ledger without tearing down their multi-trillion-dollar systems. It's not a replacement. It's the ultimate upgrade. The smart money understands this. They aren't scrolling through TikTok for financial advice. They are poring over dense central bank white papers and IMF reports. And what do those documents all point to? A desperate need for interoperability between blockchains, real-time gross settlement, and a neutral digital bridge asset for atomic settlement. They are, in essence, describing XRP without ever saying its name. The storm didn't pass. It's just getting started. HBAR isn't hypothetical, it's infrastructure. While the crypto world remains locked in a deafening echo chamber, screaming about meme coins and debating the latest layer, 2 gas fees on Ethereum, HBAR operates in a different reality. It moves in the quiet, methodical hum of server rooms and corporate boardrooms. But don't mistake that silence for inaction. It's the sound of real-world infrastructure being laid, pipe by pipe, into the systems that already run the world. This isn't theory, it's deployment. The very institution charting humanity's course through the stars, NASA, is leveraging Hedera's distributed ledger to track and verify complex satellite data. A use case where immutability isn't a feature, it's a mission-critical requirement. The U.S. State Department, a body synonymous with geopolitical trust, is actively exploring Hedera's unique governance model for trusted AI policy and verifiable data provenance. They aren't getting into crypto. They are sourcing enterprise-grade trust layers. Look deeper into the backbone of global commerce. Hedera is being embedded directly into the workflow of giants like ServiceNow, integrated into global enterprise resource planning (ERP) systems via the Hedera Guardian. This isn't an app you download. It's a compliance and auditability layer baked directly into the operating systems of Fortune 500 companies. Painted titans like FIS and WorldPay aren't just running pilots. They are architecting compliance-ready fintech rails on BAR's infrastructure, preparing for a future where regulated digital assets are the norm, not the exception. But here is where the conversation fundamentally shifts. Forget anonymous founders and fleeting partnerships. Let's talk about governance. The Hedera Governing Council isn't a collection of venture capitalists. It's a consortium of global titans: Boeing, Google, IBM, Standard Bank, Dell, LG. These aren't speculative partners. These are the pillars of global industry, and they are literally running consensus nodes on the network. This isn't a casual endorsement. It's a profound statement of infrastructural commitment. They are not just using the network. They are the network, guaranteeing its stability, security, and enterprise-first ethos. HBAR, therefore, isn't a coin to be day traded based on market sentiment. It is a protocol layer, a foundational primitive that enterprises are now using to solve problems that blockchain was always supposed to, but never could. We're seeing this unfold in real time. Central bank digital currencies, CBDC's tech provider MTech, is using Hedera's network to build resilient, compliant CBDC infrastructure for entire nations, offering a level of performance and security that public blockchains can't guarantee. Global energy markets. REC depositories are tokenizing energy credits on Hedera, creating transparent, auditable markets for sustainability assets that corporations are now required to report. Digital identity systems. Governments and NGOs are deploying Hedera for digital ID solutions to distribute humanitarian aid, ensuring that resources reach the intended recipients with full transparency and no intermediaries. ESG compliance. The world's largest corporations are using Hedera to tokenize and report on their ESG, environmental, social, and governance metrics, turning vague promises into immutable, auditable proof. HBAR isn't trying to win the hype cycle. It has strategically sidestepped the chaotic, high-fee, and unpredictable world of DeFi. Instead, it has engineered a solution for the institutional world, offering what they actually demand: fixed, minuscule transaction fees, $0.0001, a consistently carbon-negative environmental footprint, and near-instant settlement. It is secured by asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance (ABFT). Not just a marketing term, but the certified gold standard in distributed ledger security, mathematically proven to be the highest level achievable. When you understand this, you realize you're not holding a speculative moonshot. You're holding a piece of enterprise-grade financial and operational plumbing. HBAR isn't just a coin you trade. It's a trust layer for the digital age. It's a policy enforcement engine. It is the compliance-by-design network engineered for longevity. While retail investors are glued to 4-hour candle charts, Hedera is being hardwired into government workflows, enterprise backends, and infrastructural protocols with lifespans measured in decades, not market cycles. This isn't the next iteration of Web 3. This is the foundational layer, Web 0 to 1. And its concrete is being poured on HBAR. The real-time liquidity layer is being finalized, and XRP and HBAR are both on it. The global financial system, a behemoth processing over $155 trillion in cross-border payments annually, is secretly hemorrhaging efficiency. For decades, it has been running on archaic infrastructure where transactions crawl over several days. Fees are a black box of hidden costs, and true visibility across borders is a pipe dream. This isn't just inefficient. It's a multi-trillion-dollar ball and chain on the global economy. But that's all changing, not in a distant future, but right now. The blueprints for a new financial architecture are being laid, and the concrete is setting. XRP is being meticulously engineered as the centerpiece of this real-time global liquidity engine. It is not a speculative asset, but a utility instrument. With RippleNet's ever-expanding footprint, XRP is designed to function as the ultimate bridge asset, a digital solvent for the legacy system's biggest headache: trapped capital. It eradicates the need for pre-funded Nostro and Vostro accounts, instantly liberating trillions of dollars locked in correspondent banking relationships. This means institutions can finally achieve just-in-time liquidity, settling massive cross-border transactions instantly, 24/7/365, with zero counterparty risk. While XRP provides the raw, high-speed liquidity, Hedera is simultaneously tackling the equally critical layers of compliance, trust, and microscale transactions. Its asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance, ABFT, consensus is not just a feature. It's the gold standard for security, mathematically proven to be the most secure type of DLT. But beyond security, it's built for institutional scale. A future capacity of millions of transactions per second, designed for environments that demand not just blistering speed, but absolute mathematical verifiability and a permanent tamper-proof audit trail. This isn't a retail-level game. Look at the institutional landscape. The Bank for International Settlements, BIS, the central bank of central banks, is no longer theorizing. Its live initiative, Project Agora, is actively testing a unified ledger system bringing together tokenized commercial bank deposits and wholesale central bank money from 7 of the world's most influential central banks. These systems don't just need a blockchain. They demand networks with proven real-time settlement, bulletproof security, and programmable compliance. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has moved beyond papers and into frameworks. Its work on a multi-currency exchange and contracting platform, XE platform, and programmable money is a direct response to global financial fragmentation. The core requirements: interoperability between different forms of money, trustless settlement to reduce risk, and the native ability to integrate with digital identity and compliance layers from the ground up. And then there's SWIFT. The incumbent gatekeeper has already confirmed its path forward: interoperability with public blockchains. Their successful pilots with Chainlink were not an endpoint but a proof of concept, demonstrating that their vast network of 11,000 plus banks can connect to on-chain assets. The next phase requires networks that can handle institutional volume and meet stringent regulatory demands. The architectures of XRP and Hedera don't just align with these goals. They anticipate them. These mentions are not coincidental. These networks are surfacing repeatedly in the very policy papers, pilot projects, and infrastructure planning sessions that are defining the next 50 years of finance. They weren't built for the fleeting hype of a bull run. They were purpose-built to solve specific trillion-dollar infrastructural problems. XRP provides the core settlement function: instant finality and negligible fees, the prerequisites for high-volume, low-value payments and massive forex settlements alike. On-demand liquidity bridge, a neutral asset to move between any currency pair without friction. Native ISO 20022 compliance. It speaks the language of global finance out of the box, ensuring seamless integration. Hedera delivers the enterprise-grade trust and application layer, high throughput and mathematical finality, consensus that can handle the fire hose of enterprise and government transactions, native tokenization services, the ability to create and manage regulated, real-world assets with fixed, predictable fees, enterprise-grade governance and auditability, a permanent, verifiable history of transactions governed by the world's leading corporations and institutions. Separately, they are powerful. Together, they represent a complete toolkit that checks every single box on the institutional checklist: speed, transparency, compliance, scalability, and seamless interoperability with both legacy and future financial systems. Unlike first-generation blockchains that grapple with speed, fees, or energy consumption, XRP and HBAR were engineered from day one to operate silently in the background. They are not meant to be headlines. They are meant to be the invisible, hyper-efficient infrastructure that powers everything else. This isn't crypto fantasy. This is monetary architecture being deployed in real time. It's being wired in quietly, methodically, and permanently. You're not early to crypto anymore, but you are early to the infrastructure. It's time to stop pretending this is 2017. The era of just buy and wait is over. The market is maturing. Speculative narratives are dying. And the new game is infrastructure. And here's the truth. 99% of tokens have no place in the future of money. But XRP and HBAR? They're being tested in systems that already move trillions. ISO 20022 isn't some distant standard. It's here now. And both XRP and HBAR are natively compatible. CBDCs aren't just white papers anymore. They're in pilots on Hedera. Tokenized treasuries and FX rails aren't future concepts. They're being tested with Ripple. Smart contracts that interact with government databases. Hedera's Guardian framework is already doing it. What powers the rails being laid now? HBAR, trust minimized, ESG compliant, fixed fee infrastructure ready for institutional audits. XRP, liquidity layer protocol that bridges fiat, CBDCs, stablecoins, and tokenized assets with finality in seconds. You're not holding speculative plays. You're holding foundational infrastructure. And most of retail hasn't figured it out yet. They're chasing charts, watching influencers, waiting for another pump cycle. But institutional players? They're already years ahead, signing long-term pilots, deploying nodes and infrastructure, locking in their architecture decisions for the next financial era. By the time the price charts light up, there won't be the signal to buy. It'll be the confirmation you're already too late. The deployment phase is quiet until it isn't. There's a reason it feels quiet right now, because real deployment isn't flashy. It's not meant to trend. It's quiet. It's signed in conference rooms, negotiated behind closed doors, and executed through APIs and pilot integrations you'll never hear about until it's already done. But then one morning you'll wake up and it's live. Ripple onboarding another Tier 1 bank. Hedera finalizing a multi-million-dollar government ESG platform. Central banks flipping the switch on cross-border liquidity using public chains. And that's when the reprice happens. That's when the floodgates open, and retail chases narratives that institutions finalized months or years before. Right now, Ripple is laying down settlement infrastructure in the Middle East, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Right now, Hedera is being coded into federal-level systems for energy, identity, and compliance. Right now, enterprise-grade developers are building tokenized modules that will never be advertised but will power trillions. You won't get a newsflash. You won't get a viral tweet. You'll just see price discovery happen all at once. And by then, it's too late to position early. So the choice is simple. Do you want to gamble on the next hype cycle or front-run the financial internet's new operating system? Because XRP and HBR aren't the speculation anymore. They are the rails. This is not a drill. You're not waiting for utility. You're watching it go live. XRP and HBR aren't coins. They're the plumbing. And if you're holding them, you're not gambling. You're front-running institutional infrastructure. So like this video, subscribe to Be Crypto Smart. And most importantly, watch what gets built, not what gets hyped. Because when this goes live, it won't wait for retail. It'll already be priced in. You're either part of the infrastructure era or left behind by it. Your call.